Good afternoon, fans, and welcome to Harrington Field for the 2021 GNAC Women's Soccer Championships, hosted by Western Washington University. Our first semifinal match features the top-seeded Seattle Pacific Falcons versus the fourth-seeded Simon Fraser. First, let's meet the officials for today's semifinal. Head referee is Raymond Moffitt Jr. Assistant referees are Matthew Stewart and Joshua Nielsen. Alternate official is Timothy Epps. Now let's meet today's team. First, for the number 4 seed, Simon Fraser. Starting with the reserve players. Number 1, Kelsey Fisher. Number 3, Emily Smith. Number 9, Doreen Anane Bediaka. Number 13, Amanda Scott. Number 14, Anjali Sanders. Number 16, Gabrielle Brissett. Number 18, Kaya Crescenzo. Number 19, Valerie Silva. Number 23, Kate Cartier. Number 24, Sarah Lowen. And number 25, Mackenzie Almada. And now let's meet the starting lineups. Starting lineups are announced by head coach Annie Hamill, who's assisted by Anna Picarelli, Jenna Baxter, Carlo Basso, and Kim Cormack. Wearing number 5, Geneva Musico. Number 6, Emma Lobo. Number 7, Juliana Zarini. Number 8, Danae Robilar. Number 10, Reagan Mackenzie. Number 11, Kiara Bono. Number 12, Kayla Gonsalves. Number 17, Emma Ferraro. Number 20, Annika Gross. Number 21, Katie Richardson. And number 22, Nicole Anderson. And Simon Fraser. And now let's meet the roster for the number 1 seed, Seattle Pacific Falcons. Starting with the reserves. Number 1, Caitlin Naki. Number 4, Lauren Forster. Number 5, Lauren Snedeker. Number 6, Sophie Gardner. Number 7, Allie Beanquist. Number 9, Brooklyn Morrison. Number 14, Jackie Blakely. Number 15, AJ DiPinto. Number 16, Abby Anderson. Number 18, Mia Mahaffey. Number 19, Mariah Alexander. Number 22, Tony Miranda. Number 23, Delaney Pollard. Number 24, Callie Royo. Number 25, Mac Aiken. Number 27, Samia Aljundi. Number 28, Riley Pierce. Number 29, Kat Yonek. And number 31, Landry McCann. And now for the starting lineups. Starting lineups are announced by head coach Arby Busey. He is assisted by Carrie Whitney, Derek Faulkner, Amanda Axelson, Brooke Reese, Megan Moore, and Heather Greer. Wearing number 0, Riley Travis. Number 2, Madison E. Bale. Number 8, Chloe Gelhouse. Number 10, Marissa Banky. Number 11, Claire Nieder. Number 12, Sophie Beadle. Number 13, Sophia Chilza. Number 17, McKenna Ritz. Number 20, Taylor Menken. Number 21, Emmy Moore. And number 26, Ava Giovanola. The number 1 seed, Seattle Pacific Falcons. Fans, please stand and remove your hats as we honor the 2 countries of the GNAC with the performance of our national anthem. Singing O Canada and the Star Spangled Banner, please welcome the GNAC Assistant Commissioner for Communications, Blake Tim.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Well, good afternoon to you all, and welcome into Harrington Field here in Bellingham, Washington, the scene for the 2021 GNAC Women's Soccer Championships here on GNAC.tv. Hello, everybody. I'm Andrew Harvey, joined in the booth by my father, Jim. And Jim, it looks like we have a lot of people tuning in today, as there's an atmospheric river that might have kept some people away from the semifinal action here at Harrington Field.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious. We have a 100% chance of a lot of rain, and quite frankly, on the way up, we were pondering whether this was a turf field or a grass field. Thank God it's a turf field, because otherwise we'd be looking at standing water and mud and a pretty miserable playing surface.
Well, the playing surface will hold up fine. There are 2 matches scheduled in action for today. Up first for you in the 4 p.m. slot, number 1 seed overall and ranked 4th in the nation, Seattle Pacific University, taking on Simon Fraser, who skipped into the playoffs on the last day in a 105th-minute game-winning penalty converted by Juliana Zaurini. Simon Fraser in red will move from right to left on your screen here in the first half. Falcons in all white going back the other way. RB Busey has named this starting lineup for the Falcons. In goal, Riley Travis. The outfield, Madison Ibale, Chloe Gelhaus, Marissa Banky, Claire Nieder, Sophie Beadle, Sophia Chilzik, McKenna Ritz, Taylor Menkins, Emmy Moore, and Ava Jovanola. For the Clan, Nicole Anderson's between the sticks. The outfield, Geneva Musico, Emma Lobo, Juliana Zarini, Danae Robillard, Reagan McKenzie, Chiara Buono, Kayla Gonsalves, Emma Ferraro, Annika Gross, and Katie Richardson. Your referee is Raymond Moffitt Jr. He hands the ball off to Sophia Chilzik. Second in the nation for assists per game is Sophia Chilzik. She averages .88 assists per 90 minutes played.
Yeah, she's quite the prototypical target player, and obviously her team knows that they serve her the ball, she can lay it off to her teammates who then tuck it in.
SPU won their first regular season GNAC title since 2011 under RB Busey this year. And of course, exactly the kind of response they'd hope. Welcome back to playoff soccer here in the GNAC after last season's conference play was called off due to COVID-19. We are back. And like you might expect in mid-November in Washington State, minding the elements. Ball ahead there to Reagan McKenzie.
Obviously, the conditions are going to affect all players. It's going to be cold and wet, but I don't see much other than the ball's tendency to skid and have weirder bounces affecting much in the way of the regular play.
Yeah, teams here in the GNAC used to playing on turf by and large, Jim.
I mean, obviously for goalkeepers, the chances of giving up rebounds go way up when the ball is this slick. So that is something that both defenders and attackers need to be mindful of.
Chilzik brings that down to Beadle. McKenna Ritz leads the conference in goals, gets it back to Beadle. Gonsalves, hot on Ritz's heels. Back to Emmy Moore. And the switch to the far side is going to find Ava Jovanola, who wins a corner. Jovanola has Claire Nieder available as the short side option. Nieder checks out. Jovanola's outswinger. Into the area, past the keeper, past Beadle.
Well, there's a perfect example of what we were just talking about. The keeper gave up a deflection.
Mankins, Gelhaus, back wide. This is Ritz. Low ball in, and the clearance just barely beyond Gelhaus. Reagan McKenzie losing out to Ritz. Intense pressure from the Falcons, who have outscored opponents 54-7 over the span of their outings this season.
Yeah, that's a statistic that is amazing. And you can understand why they're so highly ranked nationally, because, you know, that kind of a goal differential is stunning.
Nieder working here. That ball falls toward Gelhaus. And a crafty turn from Chiara Bono, the winger, who's going to run that into touch.
Yeah, this high pressure on the part of Seattle Pacific is a trademark of theirs this year. Not only scoring, but a lot of shots on goal, a lot of corners. So that high press, you can count on that being their intention this afternoon.
Jim, SPU, a team that scores a lot of their goals from inside the penalty area. Reagan McKenzie takes a close-range shot there from Beadle. And Raymond Moffett Jr. just going to stop the clock. Come check on the player. Al Raymond's able to smile about it. Hopefully Reagan McKenzie is too. Yeah, she is. Gets a little pat on the back from Beadle. We'll get back underway.
Yeah, you know, referees are very, very careful about any kind of a blow to the head, whether it's from the ball or, you know, an inadvertent elbow or whatever.
Well, why not in the NCAA, Jim, when you can stop the clock, so there's no time that will actually be lost off the match. Just nice to see the game adapting with the times. Maybe a bit more minded toward the health of players than your playing days, perhaps.
Yeah, that's fair to say. But it is a good thing. And, you know, as a referee, it's one of those things you just don't mess around with any kind of potential head injury because, and, you know, each year you have to be reconfirmed about your understanding of concussion protocols and that kind of thing because, you know, you want players to be safe.
Sent over the top. Finds Kiara Bono here. Bono at the touchline. Marissa Banky up the line. Beadle. Chilzik looking to turn. Beadle out wide. Gets there at the byline. Steps top side. Low cross coming in. Off the shoulder of the center back. Clearance blocked by Chilzik right back to Beadle. She sends it far post. It's headed down and knocked away. Yeah,
and you can see that the speed with which Beadle is just chipping it right into the mixer, as we like to say, and you know, especially on a day like this, you get a weird bounce or an inadvertent bad header, and suddenly the ball drops to one of your attacker's feet right where they need to be.
Nieder working there, draws a free kick right on the touchline. Well, SPU has kept 2 clean sheets against Simon Fraser over the course of this year. Beat them on the road 2-0 back in October 7th, and then just about 2 weeks later, beat them 3-0 down at Interbay Stadium in Seattle. Eva Jovanola over this set piece. Driven ball. Past Chilzik, and Gelhaus on the doorstep. Tips it over.
Yeah, you can always tell an attacker that, you know, grabs their head right after they shoot because they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I missed that. But that was a great service, and you know, the defending was not particularly good, but she was pretty much untouched, you know, within 4 yards of the keeper.
Well, there was a lot of attention thrown the way of Sophia Chilzik. You can understand it. The forward stands quite a notable 5'11", and she plays like she's a couple inches taller than that, Jim. Set piece quickly restarted into the middle. Here's Mankins. Back out wide. Banky. Beadle. Tackled away and out of play.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how quickly SPU does put the ball back into play. Those quick restarts can be very, very you know, dangerous, especially if the opposing team is lulled into a sense like, oh, I have a couple seconds to get set up.
Jovanola wants the in-swinger here from this near corner. Back post, past everyone. Goal kick.
I have to say that Giovanola's service is just really spectacularly good. That one just went a little bit too far, and it always raises a question in my mind whether you have a attacking player at the far part of the goal box area, because you know, that one went over the end line before it reached there. But it's one of those things that always drives me crazy when you see no one, if the ball goes over everybody in the middle, to knock it back in.
SFU with a chance to clear their lines here. Been under duress the last couple minutes. Benefiting from a free kick here. Emma Lobo. Gone with a short restart. Over to Katie Richardson.
Yeah, nice decision there to pretty much do a dummy and then bring it back to your keeper and collect yourself and then redirect to attack the ball. That's a good decision on the back, on the part of the defender for Seattle Pacific.
That's Emmy Moore slotted in at the right center back alongside Madison Ibale. Beadle, clever touch inside, clever touch back out. And finally taken off the ball by Bono there. One back, Galehouse. Now the rain, as you could probably hear through the shotgun mic we have up here in the booth, picking up in intensity. Look at the bright side, Jim. Both these teams will save a lot of money on post-game showers after this one.
That's a great tackle.
Ball behind Reagan McKenzie there. And this is sort of what SPU's done to opposition all year long. Even if they give you the ball, they so quick to jump on that press, tend to get it right back. Cause problems for just about everyone they've played. Galehouse tried to go straight through. Now finds Beadle. And tackled away there by Gonsalves. And Gonsalves is going to have her hands full with Beadle today. Apocryphally, this SPU side played a friendly against OL Reign, the National Women's Soccer League side, last season after the GNAC schedule had been officially canceled. And to hear Arby Busey tell it, Beadle held her own and managed to turn a couple of professional fullbacks. So lots for Gonsalves to keep her eye on today. Play continues. Banky has it. She's on her left foot here. Pokes it toward goal. And like you said, Jim, on a day like today, keepers less inclined to try to catch the ball. You just want to make sure it doesn't get past you.
Well, the most important thing for both keepers is to make sure they have body parts behind the ball, no matter where their hands are, because you just can't count on the fact that you're going to grab the ball or even deflect it accurately. So it's really critical to do that. And she did a good job on that case. We talk about goalkeepers spilling saves. Well, we're going to see a lot of that today.
Giovanola once more from this near side. And that one falls awkwardly into the mixer. Did that come off the arm of Galehouse? It might have, but play continues. Back to Giovanola. She swings it in near side, and Anderson has that covered. Clock going to stop there. There's a defender down. That appears to be Danae Robillard. And they're going to call for the trainers. Well, Jim, in your collegiate playing days as a goalkeeper, you played in a national championship game. You're familiar with the hunt for the NCAA tournament. Obviously, the automatic qualifying berth on the line for whoever claims the championship on Saturday. At what point does that start to enter into your mind? Do you have to just push it to the back and focus on the task at hand, or can you afford to let yourself use that as a carrot on the stick, as it were?
No, you don't want to focus on anything except the game that you're playing in. And it's the ability to eliminate all distractions, including, thinking past the current opponent can be a real dangerous thing. So you definitely want to focus on that, and that's what SPU is doing, as well as Simon Fraser and all four of the teams here today.
7 p.m. tonight, Northwest Nazarene takes on Western Washington, the hosts for us up here in Bellingham. Both Seattle Pacific University and Western, Jim, can probably be relatively confident. They'll probably be in the mix for one of those at-large bids to the NCAA tournament. Western ranked 13th in the nation. SPU, like we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, ranked number 4. but you never want to leave it to chance.
Exactly, and there are too many instances in which a team that you would think would be an automatic at-large bid doesn't get the bid, so you don't want to leave it to chance for sure.
Visiting the conference website on GNACsports.com. Be sure to follow the Great Northwest Athletic Conference on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
So Robillard coming off here. Doesn't appear that she's immediately being subbed for, so I think we'll restart play. And, well, as I say that, here comes Kate Cartier, a freshman from Kelowna. And we restart with the drop ball to Anderson. Anderson, by the way, the lone American on this roster from Eagle, Idaho. Back underway with that punt. McKenzie, strong turn. A lot of pressure, though.
Yeah,
poked up to Beadle. And it's given as a free kick.
That's an interesting call on Ray Moffat's part. I guess he felt that after tucking the ball and she ran into the player's leg, and so that's why the call was made.
Insight there from the licensed referee, Jim Harvey. Thank you for that. 10 yards marked off, and Jim's set pieces on a day like today, especially dangerous. This from Juliana Zaurini. Zaurini, it's a low ball. Travis deals with it, and like you said, Jim, squibs past her, corner.
Yeah, and I would not be surprised to see more shots directly on free kicks that are out like that one was, 25 yards from the goal, because they know that the ball is slick and, goalkeepers can make mistakes.
Service from Bono. Travis tracks it. That looks like it came off the crossbar. It's loose at the back post. And tackled into touch by SPU.
Yeah, that was a nice offensive effort on the part of the Simon Fraser University team, and looked like they had a good opportunity to knock it in from the far post.
And Travis, part of a team that's kept 11 clean sheets over the course of the season. But she does stand just 5'6". Beadle is away here, looking to spring Chilzik. Clearance blocked by Beadle, but falls right to Anderson.
Yeah, it was a good idea. I'm not sure Chilzik has the pace to, run past a defender in that case, but why not push it up the pitch? It was a nice job on her part to follow it up and try to get that deflection as well.
Chilzik taps that wide toward Beadle, and Gonsalves trips her up. That'll be a free kick right around the edge of the attacking third. Falcons look set to play this short on the restart. Now Beadle's going to drift inside. Emmy Moore backing up a couple steps. 15 minutes gone here at Harrington Field. Gelhaus. Nieder. That high press from SPU attempting to pay dividends. Lobo trying to clear it up to McKenzie.
You can definitely see that SPU is very quick to the point of combat, as we like to say. So they are beating Simon Fraser to the ball, even when it looks like the Simon Fraser player has control of it. So that is, again, a trademark of SPU's high press.
And there goes Anderson, the Simon Fraser keeper, getting out over the ball.
And that was a good, solid play by the by Anderson there. She came out, dove, and got her hands on the ball and put her chest behind it so that there was no way it could squeak by her.
McKenzie running against Ibale. Looking for support. Now this searching ball gets past Banky. And a ball over the top. That could be trouble for Travis, who is happy to see that skip wide.
Yeah, any of those balls that are in the air and that you suddenly have to make a play on, and it's right underneath your crossbar, it could be very dangerous. So I think you'd have to call that a shot, but right now it looks like SPU is out shooting them 4-1, but I would have called that one a shot. So.
Ball one back here. It's Cartier looking to go wide for Zarini. Zarini led this team 4 goals, 2 assists on the year for SFU. Ball's in touch. Brought down nicely for Beadle by Chilzik there. Chilzik, too far for Gelhaus. Fights her way back to it. And just tried to pelt it in. Rebounds to Jovanola. There's Mankins. And Ibale keeps it away from McKenzie. Ritz. Back to Beadle. Beadle trying the far post.
Yeah, and again, one of the things that's very impressive about the passing on the part of the SPU Falcons is how crisp it is. A lot of one-touch passes and that sequence there. And you see how quickly they got it up the pitch to a point where they could actually put a shot at goal.
Close play in tight quarters. Loop to the outside. Chilzik gives chase. Lobo beats her to it. Kind of got bowled over there, but play continues. And Jovanola hits the reset button.
You talked about the fact that the Falcons only given up 7 goals. Part of that is just the poise and experience on the part of the back four there, where they really just don't take unnecessary chances. In that case, no, knock it back, reset, and maintain possession.
Simon Fraser having some trouble getting to these second balls on distribution from Anderson. She's going to try to switch things up, deliver from a different side of the penalty area. Similar result. Beadle gets there. Sliding tackle. Now Chilzik. Ritz. Or pardon me, this is Gelhaus, as she was looking for Ritz on the far side.
You know, one thing, we've watched Ray Moffitt Jr. Ref a lot of games over the years, and what I like about him as a referee is not only does he do a great job of controlling the temperature of the match, but he also lets them play. He's not going to call a lot of light, as we would say, soft fouls, which is great, because especially in a championship tournament like this, you know, you really don't want to be in the middle of the result as a referee.
Jovanola's overhead flick Gets it up to Ritz. Chilzik out wide. Nieder. Lobo's clearance comes off Chilzik. Chilzik fires and misses. Not by much, Jim.
Right, and again, Chilzik, you know, she's not a small human being, but she has great technique and quick feet. And that's a good example right there where it was a deflection, then suddenly she turned it. She didn't overhit it. She just barely missed the far post. And you can understand not only why she's so gifted as a scorer, but, you know, as an assist player, because her touch is remarkably good.
On the layoff there, they find Ferraro. Zarini. Back here to Lobo. An advantage. We'll pull that back for an SFU free kick just shy of midfield.
You can definitely see that Seattle Pacific is contesting virtually every ball. You know, in terms of the defenders back there, you know, the thought was, oh, I can make a fairly easy pass back, and the attacking player wouldn't challenge. And in fact, SPU is really showing that they're very good at that.
Gone through here for Chilzik. Anderson off her line, going to be close. Well timed by the keeper.
Another great decision and execution on the part of Anderson to come out and take the air out of the ball.
Out as far as Gonsalves. One away by Gelhaus. Gelhaus gone ahead for Chilzik to the byline. Anderson out to get it. Gonsalves stayed down after the ball went away. She's favoring her left leg as she gets up. Looks like she's going to try to press on. Chilzik quickly worked to the outside for Nieder.
Yeah, just look at the touch on that pass.
Nieder smashes in across. Out as far as Ritz. Chilzik fires. It's blocked. Beetle brings it down. Pass comes behind Gelhaus, and SPU settles for a throw-in.
You know, it looks so easy as a target player to lay that pass off, but the touch is very tough to do, especially in these conditions.
Well, 25th minute to play now, 0-0 between Simon Fraser and number 1 seed overall, Seattle Pacific University. Been a good match all told, but Simon Fraser, Jim, definitely trying to find a way out of their own end here. Gonsalves loses out on the header. Beetle up to Chilzik. Chilzik runs through one tackle and loses out on the back end of a challenge from Chiara Bono. Cartier upline to Bono.
And you can just see that the cumulative effect of that pressure, the Simon Fraser players are rushing just a little bit. Maybe not making the best quality pass or the touch on the pass because they're so worried about being attacked as soon as they collect the ball.
Beetle bowled over from behind, courtesy of Cartier. Ibale striking through, skips off the turf, but hitches up for Beadle. Quick cross in, off the derriere of Chilzik, sent toward goal by Nieder at the back end. Just a matter of the run being a little too fast, Jim, but another dangerous connection.
Yeah, and you know, obviously Sophie Beadle is the Energizer bunny on the right-hand side. She just is relentless. Her constant pressure, constant challenging and contesting virtually every ball within 10 or 15 yards of wherever she is. And she's also put some very nice crosses into the box.
Beadle, down line for Chilzik. Good fight for the ball there in the corner. Chilzik gets a cross away. Headed toward goal. Anderson gets a hand to it, but can't keep it out. Falcons lead, and they do so off the head of Chloe Gelhaus, who knocks one in here, 28 minutes gone.
And there's Chilzik with yet another assist on a remarkably excellent cross when she was being challenged on the outside. So again, you see how powerful a really good target player can be for any team. You know, she's big enough where it's very tough for anybody to win the ball off of her once she gets her first touch on it. And she went back and forth and then got that ball across the net to a beautiful header into the far post.
RB Busey going to take the opportunity to bring on defender Catherine Yone for Jovanola here, who has a big smile as she comes over to some high fives from teammates. Gelhaus, another goal for SPU. And like you said, Jim, another assist for Sophia Chilzik. 14 on the year for Chilzik, all told. Just a tremendous clip she's been producing at. And you have to say, Jim, the way the match had been going, it felt like the opener was coming for SPU.
Well, there's no question. I mean, right now they will have outshot Simon Fraser 9-2. But previous to that header, that really didn't have much of a dangerous shot to threaten keeper Anderson for Fraser until that one.
So, Jim, for Simon Fraser, you're down 1-0. Long way to go till halftime, in fact, 17 minutes, and then another 45 minutes of play. No need to panic yet, but have to find a way to get something going. What are you looking for them to do in these next 5 to 10 minutes?
Well, I think what they have to do is string some passes together, because right now they're on their heels, you know, under the attack, the relentless attack, I might add, of Seattle Pacific. And it's very hard to score a goal when you're facing your goal defending the entire time.
Nieder gets a cross away. This one dropping in toward Beadle. Awkward ricochet. And Anderson slides in. Beadle committed a foul while trying to fight her way to that ball. Like you said, relentless.
Yeah, you pretty much, you know, you can just basically say that Danae Robillard was just in the way, and I'm sorry, I'm going to get through to try to get the ball into the net.
Yeah, good defending. Sometimes the best thing you can do is draw a foul. RB Busey is asking for an explanation for why the whistle went there. Raymond Moffitt Jr. saying that there was contact from Beadle causing the free kick. Might have just been able to pick that up on our ambient mic here. And here comes Lauren Forster in for Sophie Beadle. This is a real luxury for RB Busey. I mean, you pull off a player of Beadle's quality and you get to tuck in someone who's scored as much as Lauren Forster has this season.
Yeah, obviously Lauren Forster, a sophomore from Olympia, is a huge addition and factor on this team. So the fact that she started on the bench should not be misconstrued as to, oh, well, she's not as talented or dangerous a player as anybody who did start.
Falcons just working Forster here on this near side. Gonsalves gets the inside line. Great line taken by the defender there. Just doing enough to keep Forster off the ball. Out for a goal kick.
Well, you have to say this rain is just not stopping. It's coming down pretty heavy. You know, it's a good thing it's not snow, because there'd be a heck of accumulation if that were the case.
And good thing that it's on turf too, because it makes drainage that much easier. National Weather Service predicting an inch of accumulation over the previous 24 hours and another inch predicted for the next 24 hours, all told. Things supposed to lighten up a bit for the championship match on Saturday, but I would imagine that this is pretty much what we're in for here at Championship Weekend up at Harrington Field. Couple of ricochets there. Falcons have it back. Nieder trying to get on that ball. There's Yone. Mankins. Banky drifting to the far side. Ball comes her way. Straight ahead to Forster. Pass Gonsalves. And cannot recover to the ball in time.
Again, in that last sequence, you saw multiple clearance attempts on the part of Simon Fraser, and a SPU player sticking a foot in, getting a deflection, and then eventually getting control of the ball for their team.
Amanda Scott, the sophomore from Burnaby, British Columbia, checking in there for Annika Gross. Bit of a shift in midfield here. Annie Hamill trying to get a different look out there. Connect some of those passes you were talking about, Jim. Forster takes over. And got past the defender, but Cartier did just enough there. Chilzik to the right past Gonsalves. Another low cross past Anderson, and that one rattles in. Falcons double their advantage, and it comes from Claire Nieder, who scores here in the 33rd minute. Well, another ball out wide right for Sophia Chilzik, another cross, another SPU goal.
And that cross was so fundamentally different, because that was hard, low across the ground, and really by the time the SPU player played it, she was at the 3-yard line. I mean, it was just a tap-in. But again, Chilzik's ball control and then the quality of her crosses is just remarkable. Now her 15th assist, I believe, on the season.
Number 10, Reagan McKenzie, and number 11, Ciara Bono.
More changes there for Simon Fraser. And SPU looking to open this match by an even wider margin in these final 12 and a half. Forster. Zarini is now the lone player up top as Reagan McKenzie stepped off. Yone intercepts. Gone ahead for Chilzik, and Lobo just taps it out of play.
Well, you have to say that Coach Arby Busey has got to be happy about the start of this game. Obviously, up 2-0 with 11 minutes left in the first half is a great place to be. But knowing Arby, he probably wants to get yet another goal prior to halftime.
Last goal by Seattle Pacific, scored by number 11, Ciara Bono. Assist to number 13, Amanda Scott.
Well, now this is a scoreline that suits Seattle Pacific University even more, Jim. I mean, SFU, when they realized they weren't going to have an easy time getting on the ball, you saw them dropping back, lowering the line of confrontation, forcing SPU to come to them. But with a 2-goal lead, SFU can't afford to sit back anymore, and that's going to open up space for the Falcons.
Well, obviously, if they push forward more, if they actually get control of the ball and they push forward more, that opens them up to a counterattack. And we've already seen how quickly and effectively the 1- and 2-touch passes are for Seattle Pacific.
Well defended on the initial ball there by Musico. Yone has it back for SPU.
I have to like the width, that SPU is showing. And again, by stretching the field width-wise, you're making Simon Fraser defend the entire pitch, and that becomes exhausting after a period of time.
Emily Smith now in for SFU. SPU making a trio of substitutions. They bring on AJ DePinto, Jacqueline Blakely, and Riley Pierce.
And number 28, Riley Pierce. Exiting the game, number 8, Chloe Gelhaus, number 11, Claire Nieder, and number 13, Sophia Chilza.
Mankins tried to go up the middle. And Taylor Mankins, a player who we don't call out too often for SPU, mostly because as a holding midfielder, she hasn't had too much to do defensively for the Falcons this year, but she is kind of a metronome for how that back line conducts the ball from one side to the other.
Well, again, she's, as a senior, she's very experienced. She knows when to push it and when to knock it back. And the most important thing for a defensive holding midfielder is to make the simple play. Don't take chances with the ball. Make the simple play, and allow your teammates to bail you out or to control the ball.
Fair to say, Jim, that when you play as a 6, if you do your job right, no one will even notice you're out there?
Well, I mean, that's true. On the other hand, you think back, for example, on the Sounders and Alonso, a very powerful figure in the middle of the pitch. So, I do think you're right, though. I mean, it's if you're doing your job, then it's unremarkable.
Tony Miranda coming in for Taylor Mankins there, and that, outside the free kick that gave her some trouble about 15 minutes in, is the most that Riley Travis has had to do this afternoon.
Well, you can see Simon Fraser is basically defending at the beginning of the middle third of the pitch. They're not even bothering to attack up top, but they're not going to have much success at scoring a goal if they don't.
Yone, pass midfield. DePinto moving ahead, wants the ball out wide. It comes to her. And DePinto loses it into touch. Well, we didn't think the rain could kick it up another notch, and then it went and did. I think both teams will be happy maybe to get under some cover for a couple minutes at least, 7 minutes from now, and talk things over.
Well, it is very tough when you go in at halftime and you start cooling down and you're soaking wet. It's really tough to sometimes even listen to what the coach is saying because you're just shivering. So I'm sure they'll be wrapped up in their warm-ups and trying to dry off to the extent that they can.
Ball looking over the top, too short for Ritz, defended there by Musico. Yone tackled from behind and brought down there by Anjali Sandhu.
Yeah, really nice job of screening the attacking player off the ball and winning the ball there by Yone.
Forster losing it there. Zaurini drifting inside. Blakely. Clever little idea to just try to tip it just to the side for DePinto there. The passing triangles, so well organized for SPU, Jim.
Yeah, no question, but that's what we would call a wall pass. You just sort of flick it around and with some spin and hopefully your player can run onto it.
Anderson at the edge of her area there. Had Forster lurking at the back post.
But an excellent idea, as you point out, Andrew. I mean, you know, sometimes you don't need to try to take somebody on and make them miss. You just slot the ball and let your outside mid run onto it.
Cartier trying to run it free. Richardson looking into the middle towards Sandu. Over the head of Ibale. Sandu, Cartier. Blakely looking to turn. And Lobo back to the near side.
Yeah, it was a nice defensive sequence there by Simon Fraser to collect it, knock it back, as opposed to trying to turn the ball under pressure.
Anderson, short side to Smith. Smith gets rid of it, but Ritz got a foot to it. 41st minute, SPU leading Simon Fraser 2-0. Goals from Chloe Gelhaus and Claire Nieder, both assists provided by Sophia Chilzik.
And you have to think that relentless pressure starts weighing on the psyche of your defense. You know, when just time after time, Seattle Pacific comes out with a ball and sets up a very dangerous scoring opportunity.
Ritz lays it back here. Banky swings that toward the back post. Anderson comes out for it.
I was very close. You know, almost got hit by the Simon Fraser defender there, and but again, Anderson is showing really good judgment when she comes out to collect the ball, and she's had sure hands to date.
Almeida back there to Smith, quickly hemmed in, loses out to Banky. Thrown in toward Blakely. Forster trying to fight off Cartier. Blakely. Tony Miranda. Trying to call the name of someone who's not even on the pitch right now, Jim. Yone into space for DiPinto. Little skiffed cross from DiPinto.
And not a bad idea, but Blakely needed to have been making the run already. Well, one of the things that is impressive about the Falcons, we've been singing their praises pretty much the first half because they've been doing a great job, is just how unhurried they appear when they're making their passing decisions. They're not panicking at all. You know, they're taking what they can see and making the best of it.
It's a free kick given to SPU near the far touchline. Yone lining up to take it. And pretty much everybody else getting in the box.
What she has to watch is not having it curl straight to the keeper.
Leaves it short to prevent just that. Ritz headed inside, poked toward goal by Riley Pierce.
Yeah, and I don't think she wanted it to go quite that far out, but she was definitely cognizant of it. It almost looked like she hit her foot into the ground, and it kind of threw off her service there.
Clever turn there by Emmy Moore. Seen her do that a couple times today.
Yeah, she's had a really nice but quiet half here for the Falcons.
1 minute remaining in the half.
45th minute of play here. SPU leading 2-0 and feeling pretty comfortable. That ball nearly skips through. That's a big breakup by Richardson. Forster was onside there. Cartier going to try to spring something late for Simon Fraser. Miranda, Pierce dispossessed and gets it right back.
No hurry here with 15 seconds left. You're not going to do anything. So since Simon Fraser isn't defending, just sit back and pass the ball and go into halftime.
Well, RB Busey's SPU Falcons have built themselves a 2-0 lead over Simon Fraser through 45 minutes of play here at Harrington Field. For Simon Fraser, they'll have to make some changes. But overall, Jim, you have to say, apart from a few chances, SPU really in control in that first 45.
Yeah, no question about it, and I'm not sure what kind of changes you can make. If you throw more people up front, then you run the risk of really giving up a counterattack. And right now, the pressure from the Falcons is pretty unrelentless. So I think it's going to be very, very tough.
Well, Annie Hamill's SFU side will take it over. We'll take a break on GNAC.tv. Once again, SPU leading 2-0 over Simon Fraser through 45 minutes of play here at the GNAC Women's Championships. Welcome back into Harrington Field here in Bellingham, Washington, set for the start of the second half in our first GNAC Women's Championship semifinal between Seattle Pacific University and Simon Fraser University. SPU leading 2-0 through 45 minutes of play here on GNAC.tv. Hi, everybody. Andrew Harvey back in with you with Jim Harvey for the second half. And Jim, well, we have the stats in front of us, and they tell us exactly what we expected. A dominant first 45 minutes from Seattle Pacific University.
Yeah, no question about it. They were fast to the ball. They were fast to the second touch. They contested deep into the Simon Fraser defensive third. Spent most of the half in the Simon Fraser defensive half of the pitch.
Both teams, perhaps understandably, being a little bit slow coming out of the locker rooms here to start the second half. It is a constant downfall of rain, although we do have to say, for having walked through it there at halftime, not too, sizable from a drop perspective, but I don't think there's any way to avoid getting wet out there tonight.
Well, no, I mean, there's no question. And an interesting thing, you'll if you're watching the second half, that the referees have come out with different uniforms because theirs were so soaked. So I think it's pretty clear that it is coming down, but at least it's not blowing sideways, which is worse. So there's not much wind. It's just the pitch is wet, the ball is wet, and everybody's wet.
Let's talk about Simon Fraser, Jim, because at 2-0 down, they're not out of this match. They have not scored a goal against SPU all year, although they are far from being alone in that respect. But as we highlighted in that first half, their biggest problem has been getting on and then staying on the ball. 37% possession for Simon Fraser through 45 minutes of play. SPU was 63. What has to change and where in order for them to start being able to string passes together?
Well, first of all, I think they have to do they have to apply more pressure up top, because they're allowing SPU to have possession in their defensive third. They're not even contesting that. With the weather being the way it is and the ball being the way it is, they would be well served to really put pressure on the ball, not only over the pitch, but especially when it's in the SPU defensive half, and see if they can't get a deflection or some sort of an opportunity to go tuck one in.
SPU looks to have brought their starting lineup back on the field. That includes the goal scorers, Chloe Gelhaus and Claire Nieder. And, of course, the GNAC assist queen, Sophia Chilzik, now with 15 after assisting on both goals from pretty much the same spot, to be honest with you, just outside the right alley.
Yeah, just unbelievable ball control, and then the quality of her crosses are just remarkable. The first being at a header to Chloe Gelhaus, who just had a beautiful header to the far post, and the second one almost on the ground, and it was a simple tap-in for Claire Nieder.
Well, Simon Fraser down but not out. They're over this second half kickoff as we get set to get back underway here on GNAC.tv. Once again, Simon Fraser in red, moving from left to right on your screen. Falcons in white, going back the other way. Raymond Moffat, like you mentioned, Jim, now in blue after a halftime kit change. Checks with his ARs, checks with the keepers, blows the whistle, and gets us underway.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really important for Simon Fraser to really change the tone of the match in the first 5 minutes of the second half if they're going to have an opportunity to get back into the match.
We see there the ball just slipping twice out of the hands of Gonsalves. Conditions very wet, and it factors into every little aspect of your game, Jim. Every time you strike the ball, there's a chance that it's just going to rotate a little bit extra before your foot gets there. You can try to dry it off, but after a while, your kit's more wet than the ball is.
Yeah, no question about it. I think, now, as we mentioned earlier, both of these squads are used to playing in the rain. That's not a new thing. So this is not a Southern California team coming up and suddenly being subject to torrential downpour.
Emmy Moore. Banky. Beetle. Chilzik out wide. One there by Smith. Off to Bono. Zarini making the run up the near touchline. Losing out to Ritz.
Yeah, one thing you can't do is try to drag the ball or dribble the ball too much, because you will lose it against the Falcons, who you know, as we mentioned, contest the ball all over the pitch.
Nieder looking to turn. She's pulled down there.
Yeah, I think what Simon Fraser needs to do is 1 and 2 touch passes. Making runs, making defenders defend the run, not just stand there and know that they don't have to worry about it.
Jovanola over the set piece. Just straight down the line for Nieder. Space for a cross. It is blocked. Falling for Jovanola. She calls for Nieder to take it and heads for the overlap. Jovanola chips one in, and there's that lack of connection.
Well, there's a perfect example of what you were talking about just a minute or two ago, Andrew, where the ball pretty much rolled right over her foot because it was so slick and, was just misdirected.
Is there a fix for that? Do you just hit it a little bit harder than you normally would and trust that you're going to get there sooner?
No, but there is a fix, and it's you have to keep your eye on the ball longer than you normally do because you can't count on the ball to act the same way.
Nieder tracking back, is tripped up there. Bit of ill luck there for Annika Gross. She didn't really know that Nieder was there, but still got clipped. That is Gross. Now Banky. Chilzik. Beetle on the touchline. Trying to come back inside for Chilzik.
I mean, look at how simple those plays are right there. You know, she didn't feel like she could attack.
Chilzik floats one in here. Anderson gets beyond her. And Anderson, oh, forgive me, another Simon Fraser player has drawn the foul. From McKenna Ritz right in the middle.
Again, Ray Moffitt doing a good job of checking the health of the player and stopping the clock. Being safe is and healthy is the key focus for the referee. There's 3 players attacking the ball and come out with it. That's the fundamental difference between the two teams right there. Two touches. 1, 2.
Well worked here, and even better defense from Gonsalves. Had to recover awkwardly, but what about that combination just now between Beetle, Gelhaus, and nearly Chilzik up the far side?
Yeah, and again, that's the difference. That's why Seattle Pacific has had much of the possession, because they're not dragging the ball. They also are very organized, as you pointed out, in terms of passing triangles and lanes, and they kind of know where their teammates are going to be.
Well worked there, just a little overhit for Banky. Gone out for a goal kick. Floodlights beaming down in the pitch darkness at the late hour of 5:15 p.m. Welcome to the Pacific Northwest. Nieder lays it off to Chilzik, gets it right back. Heavy touch, Nieder, and cleared away. Right back to her. Batted down to Ritz. Chilzik spinning, firing, and off target.
Not a bad idea. I mean, she didn't quite get her left ankle planted so that she could really come through with any power, but why not? You know, you're up 2-0. Try to crack one from the top of the box. She's, 22 yards out.
Wet night. Someone follows the shot. Keeper spills it. Easy way to make it a 3-0 ball game. And just a step too far for Kiara Bono there.
And look at how wide and organized Seattle Pacific is.
What a lovely turn by Nieder. Couldn't quite break away down this near touchline. Now she has. Nieder, low cross. Did that come off an arm? Raymond Moffat was right there. He says no. Well, some superior stuff from Claire Nieder with that last turn.
Yeah, it was a lovely turn. But again, you'll see 2 and 3 Seattle Pacific players contesting every possession that Simon Fraser has.
Nieder failed to get that cross away in time. Goal kick.
And obviously for Seattle Pacific, the more that they can be down in the defensive third of Simon Fraser, the less they have to worry about, a goal and, letting him back in the match.
Sometimes the best defense, Jim, is a good offense. Beetle. Fights her way past Gonsalves. Gets the cross in. Over the head of Chilzik. And an important clearance there from Richardson.
Yeah, Chilzik just wished she had been another inch or two taller on that one. She almost mistimed her jump, but...
Gonsalves intercepts. And overhits for McKenzie. Well struck by Gonsalves. Look at that roll all the way down the line. Kept in play. Musico. Hemmed in here by Nieder. Clever turn, but tackled away. Ritz straight ahead. Gelhaus. And Smith knocks it away from Chilzik. Out for a throw-in.
Running the risk of repeating ourselves. There you're seeing pretty much the same thing. 1 and 2 touch passes, contesting the ball everywhere, and getting turnovers.
Variations on a theme, Jim. Here's Giovanola. And just Nieder wasn't reading that run. Goal kick. Beetle was getting dragged down there. Has stayed down as the ball's gone away. Chilzik squares that hard. Anderson goes to ground. Beetle's gotten up to her feet, but is grabbing her arm. Well, pretty much had beaten her defender, who just reached out, grabbed a handful of her jersey, and pulled her down. But she's clambered back up and will press on here. Zarini gone down on contact.
Ray Moffitt warning the SPU player not to knock the ball out after the whistle.
Technically a cautionable offense for delaying the restart of play, although you almost never see it given on the first one, Jim.
Yeah, that's basically you warn them first, and then they do it again, then you pull the card.
Zaurini's free kick is low, dealt with by Mankins at the near post. Nieder calling for the quick free throw. Throw-in, forgive me. It's nearly basketball season, Jim. Well, bright idea from Gelhauser. I pushed that out wide. The pressure's gotten it right back to Nieder. Keeps it low. Ritz, conference leading goal scorer. Nothing tonight.
Just beautiful passing, one-touch passing, anticipating teammates, and then making runs. It's just lovely soccer to watch.
Smith beats Chilzik to the ball.
That was a nice job by Smith to step in front of Chilzik on that ball, but that might be the first one we've seen in several minutes, that a Simon Fraser player, steps in front and contests the ball successfully.
Giovanola gone over the top, looking for Gelhaus. Falls to Ritz. Beadle turning outside, foot race with Gonsalves, and beats her. Shovels it in. Gelhaus flicks it toward goal. Gross, only as far as Banky.
Yeah, it was a nice attempt to flick it back into play.
Beadle is onside. Beats her defender goal side. Nieder puts it on and can't convert. Just kind of had to react to that one. I don't think she thought that ball was reaching her, Jim.
No, I think she expected her teammate to get something on it, and it surprised her how quickly it came across. It was hit with some pace, so it wasn't an easy play, but boy, you just, as a forward or an outside mid, you get that much of the goal open, you just think, oh man, how did I miss that one?
Remains 2-0 as we've crossed the hour mark here at Harrington Field. 29 and change left to go. SPU leading 2-0. Just a really wet, dark, cold Pacific Northwest night. What a great advertisement for soccer here in the PNW. The play's been excellent.
It really has.
Beadle, low cross, that's blocked in the corner.
But you probably won't get too many California kids wanting to come up and play in this thing. Just saying. It is remarkable what an impact this artificial turf has had for soccer in the Pacific Northwest. It has changed the playability of fields.
Even within the last 10, 15 years. I mean, I think some of the dirt patches really that I grew up playing on out here, and you know, there are certainly those who question about the higher quality of impact as there's a collision off the ball and an SPU player is down.
Well, when I first moved out here in 1979, they played on something called Centrex, which was crushed brick, mainly because they were trying to solve the problem of how much rain we got and how much the ground absorbed. I can tell you that was not fun to dive on.
Well, Chloe Gelhaus was the foul player. She looks like she wants to stay in, but she might have a bit of blood in her mouth. Looks like she'll be okay and allowed to continue. Remember, any player that is actively bleeding must come off the pitch until they are no longer bleeding. Jovinola's restart on the free kick. Chilzik gets a header to it. Ritz pokes at it. Inside, Gelhaus. Chilzik. Floated away from Nieder. Just to finish that point about how turf has made the match really playable in conditions like this. If this was a grass field, even one with fantastic drainage, Jim, I mean, it's tough to imagine it not affecting the game.
Well, you know, we didn't have field turf back then, and we played on in some games. You know, soccer is not a sport that they cancel because of the weather, with the notable exception of thunderstorms. And you know, you would have puddles on the field, and the ball would stop dead.
Carabuono. Ibale tracks back, but it's coming to the middle here for Gross. Far side, Cartier. Cartier's low shot, off target. And Simon Fraser, Jim, and the chances have been few and far between. That's just the second shot of the night for the fourth seed.
Yeah, I think one thing that you know, Seattle Pacific needs to keep in mind, especially the goalkeeper, is to stay mentally engaged in the game, because she's seen so little action that, you know, it's very easy to sort of get lulled into a false sense of security, and you really do need to stay focused on the match. Because again, any kind of a shot at goal or near goal, you know, can go right through your hands, and now suddenly it's 2-1.
Bit of a visceral experience for our listeners there, hearing the splashing as the wind shakes the tent hard enough that the accumulated water has been spilling off the sides. Of course, the immediate area right around our broadcast position is labeled as the splash zone here at Harrington Field, Jim, so keep an eye on that. Big switch here, looking for Forster. She's onside. And she has options. Forster right back in front of goal, and Chilzik can't cash in from the doorstep.
That was really a nice cross by Forster, and Chilzik again not able to put it on net. But you know, we should give credit to the Simon Fraser defender who made it impossible for her to get the ball on net. So good job on the part of the Simon Fraser defender there.
Well, the wind picking up a bit now. You kind of remarked on it. We shouldn't have. We were off the air, Jim. We were off the air and everything, and we said, well, at least it's not too windy. And now it is really picking up, and you have to think about, you know, how the wind might persist. Just 25 and change left in this match, but don't forget we have Northwest Nazarene and the hosts Western Washington University coming up at 7 p.m. Pacific time.
Yeah, and this will actually make it even more difficult for goalkeepers, because you're not only dealing with you know, wet conditions in terms of the ball and everything else, but now you have to worry about gusts of wind changing the trajectory on shots, and that's really hard to keep an eye on.
Tough for defenders too, is if you're defending a long ball that catches a bit of a tailwind, it can kind of skip on you. You think you're underneath it, and all of a sudden it's 5 yards past you. Advantage given on a free kick for Simon Fraser. Restarted with a drop ball. So it must have been a different infraction, forgive me. Might have come off our referee. Hard running up the far side. It's gone out of play. Simon Fraser throwing. Richardson in for Bono. Her cross finds Zarini, but she can't bring it under control. Skips past Smith. And Smith is lucky that Chilzik thought she was going to block that and clear it, or else she would have been off to the races. Now Musico loses out to Forster. Forster. I'll try to scoop it back. Might have been better serve just smashing across and trying to hit it off the defender.
You know, the other thing that you don't know, and I don't know whether either team really has a player that's, you know, a long throw threat, but on weather like this, there's no way that you can throw the ball more than about 15, 20 yards. So that, if that is a tactic for any of the four teams here tonight, it's going to be really hard to take advantage of it.
Chilzik settles this ball. Trying to poke that out wide for DiPinto. Cartier. Double teamed there. Puts it out of play.
Now, Cartier, since she's come onto the pitch, has done a really nice job this evening. You know, contesting on that left side.
Couple of changes here for SPU. On comes Allie Veenhuizen, Tony Miranda, Riley Pierce. You can see McKenna Ritz coming off. So is Menkins, as is Marissa Banky.
Well, you know, it really does work in RB Boosie's favor to have a 2-0 lead with 22 minutes left on the pitch, and you know, give some of your starters the opportunity to rest, because don't forget, if they manage to keep this lead, they have a game in 2 days.
DiPinto. Intercepted well there by Riley Pierce. Long floated cross. Anderson, the only one in the zip code.
Again, another really nice job on Anderson's part to come out and control the ball, not spill it.
Zarini fighting off Forster. Falcons throw. Gelhaus wins it there, gone straight upfield. Here's Chilzik at a full sprint. Smith has a pretty good line in pursuit, and Smith just tucks it out for a corner. That's smart defending.
I agree with that. I mean, she might have been able to knock it out to the sideline and maybe have gone off of Chilzik's foot for a goal kick, but why take chances? Get your teammates back to defend.
Veenhuizen over the south swinger. Left it pretty shallow, batted down by Cartier. Into touch for a throw-in. Another cross. Boy, Anderson will be happy that skipped as hard as it did off the playing surface.
Well, it was really close to an SPU attacker. Had she put anything on the ball and it went, on frame, it would have been in, because trying to react on a wet night with the ball going that pace would have been virtually impossible. Now, here's something to notice. The Simon Fraser is packed on one side of the pitch vertically. When SPU has the ball, they do a much better job of spreading the field horizontally and making Simon Fraser defend the entire pitch.
Ball up there to Bono. Intercepted for it, reaches Zarini. Yone. And Yone recovers it. Gelhaus wants to go through for Chilzik. Big forward tracks this down in the left alley. She rounds Smith, strikes for goal. Good hands by Anderson.
And again, you have no problem with a player up 2-0 to crack a shot from there. Could go through her hands. So far, I'm very impressed with Anderson's hands.
Well, that is a heck of a turn. Left McKenzie in the dust.
And great poise on the part of the SPU defenders there.
Here's Yone, the fullback, getting forward. Past Zarini. Her cross curling back. Gone out of play. Jacqueline Blakely going to come on here for Chilzik.
Entering the game, number 14, Jackie Blakely. Exiting the game, number 13, Sophia Chilzik.
And you have to imagine, barring a late goal here from Simon Fraser, that's probably the last we'll see of Chilzik on the evening. Long throw to Blakely.
So the AR raised his flag because he was going to call a foul, but Ray just basically said, "Nah, just give him a goal kick." It's a instance in which the center referee has the discretion to kind of wave off a play, and why not?
Gives Anderson the opportunity to try the near side of the pitch. Forrester wins the initial header. Bono trying to fight her way through Miranda. McKenzie has it. Zarini. McKenna Ritz checking in here for Chloe Gelhaus. And we have a sub for Reagan McKenzie as well. Mackenzie Almeida checking in for Reagan McKenzie.
Entering the game, number 17, McKenna Ritz. Exiting the game, number 8, Chloe Gelhaus. And a substitution for Simon Fraser. Entering the game, number 25, Mackenzie Almeida. Exiting the game, number 10.
75 minutes gone, a quarter hour to go. Falcons leading 2-0. Simon Fraser enjoying more of the ball in recent minutes now that the Falcons have taken most of their starters off the pitch. But even so, this SPU team has looked dangerous. And with McKenna Ritz lurking that attacking band, you really can't be certain of anything if you're Simon Fraser. More of this high press from the Falcons. Here is Ritz, and it's a free kick for Simon Fraser after a foul in the left alley.
Well, you can tell Ritz really wanted to line one up and crack one, and she's, threw her head up in the ceiling. Says, darn it.
Yone wins the header. Forster gets in front of the ball. Musico trying to find Bono. And Ibale just knocks it out of play. Zarini. Gone down line. There's Bono. Cross coming in. Travis, the diving punch, but it spills backside. Richardson's there. So is Cartier. Floated toward goal. Travis punches it away, but not enough. Simon Fraser calls a goal back, and it is game on here at Harrington Field.
Goal for Simon
Yeah, very
Fraser,
tough
number 20,
decision on her
Monica
part to try to
Gross.
deflect it. And in an instance when the ball is this wet, she might have been better suited to put both hands to try to deflect that one. Unable to keep it out of the net, and so now, as you mentioned, down only by one goal. The last 12 and a half minutes are going to be way more intense, and the question then becomes, will RB Boosie make some substitutions to bring some of his starters back to gain better possession?
Last goal for Simon Fraser scored by number 20, Annika Gross.
Annika Gross
Number 21,
got that goal past Riley Travis. RB Busey has made one change. He's brought in Mia Mahaffey, who's now on there on the left side. So right now, trusting his defense to try to see this one out.
Correction on the assist on that last goal, 23, Katie Cartier.
Free kick won by Riley Pierce. Falcons thought about going quickly, but really the clock on their side at this point. I expect to see them do this, knock it around, try to draw Simon Fraser forward. Find some gaps to exploit. Travis has to get that away with her first touch, does well. Smith, ball over the top. Travis collects.
And that's a good decision on her part to try to use up a few more seconds and then pick the ball up. But the Falcon defense has to be careful with these pack passes and that kind of thing because, again, tonight, ball is slick, wind is kicking up now. Got to be careful.
Here's Ritz. Turn and gone straight up the middle. Well, laid that right in for Blakely, and it comes off DiPinto, goes out for a goal kick. How about the quality of the pass there from McKenna Ritz?
It was a beautiful pass, and I don't think the run had started as soon as it might have. She started another foot or two quicker, then I think she might have been able to get to that ball in a position to shoot.
Closing seconds of the 80th minute. Simon Fraser has pulled a goal back, courtesy of Annika Gross. Teeing up to make these last 10 minutes very interesting. Harvey Busey trusting his backups. Mahaffey down the line for Yone. Yone's cross on the ground, kept in play. Well defended by Musico. Yone. Now a floating ball. Past Blakely toward DiPinto. Back toward midfield. Turned by Miranda. Veenhuizen. Veenhuizen sends across, past Anderson, past everybody. Mahaffey gives chase in the left alley, forgive me. Ball swung back in. Veenhuizen got a header to it. And it's given as a goal kick.
Yeah, that was a nice sequence by Veenhuizen, the beautiful cross, and then the attempted header at when the ball came served from the opposite side. Unable to get it on net, though.
See there the ever mindful hand of John, our cameraman, making sure you can get as clear a view of the action as possible, as the conditions will allow. Cartier doing battle over there. Everyone claiming the throw-in, but it's given to SPU. Long back pass to Travis here.
A good decision to give it back to your poised center back, Emmy Moore, playing now on the back line, not being that holding midfielder, but she's got that poise back there that you need, especially in the waning 7 minutes of the match.
Cartier try to lay it off for Almeida. Riley Pierce. Almeida sticks a leg in, almost wins it back. Falcons trying to work it around the back here. Miranda turns, goes down, and might have gone down a bit softly there, Jim, but it's enough to win the free kick.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was pretty much contact, and Ray Moffat, is not. He's not the kind of person to call fouls that really aren't there.
Pressure coming for SPU. Space behind the initial line, but it's one back. Zarini. Yone trying to run this free on her own. Falcons flying awfully close to the sun here with the ball in their own defensive third and a 1-goal lead.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I mean, I think they have to be very careful not to be too smug about it. Riley Travis going out of the box to tap it back in so she can pick it up with her hands. Again, a really smart poised play on her part.
Blakely tracks back, wins that ball. Out to Mahaffey. Trying to get on her horse against Musico. Who sticks a shoulder in. And Mahaffey had two arms on her. Pretty easy for the referee to spot.
Yeah, no question about that one. Mahaffey trying to use speed, and yet you have to give credit to the Simon Fraser defender to cut her off, screen her with her body, and pick up the foul.
85 minutes gone. Falcons leading 2-1 here at Harrington Field. Miranda, Almeida, just a scrum for the ball in the middle of the pitch. And a turnover there. It's Bono. Turns against Ibale. They both trip up. They both go down. And Raymond Wofford waves them back to their feet.
Yeah, and that's the right non-call right there. They both just tripped. There wasn't a foul on either part, and just let them play on.
Header one. That came up into the arm of Bono and will be a handball. Raymond Moffat getting the signal from his assistant referee there.
Yeah, her elbow was up, and it came up and hit her in the elbow. It's pretty much a instant call.
Ball sent downfield by Ibale. 3.5 to go. Pierce arrives. Moore doing well to find Veenhuizen on the far side. Veenhuizen looking over the top. Blakely gives chase. Smith pokes it out wide, only as far as DiPinto. And Veenhuizen clobbers that. Well shielded out for a goal kick.
Well, that's really what RB Boosie is looking for right now. Get the ball out of your defensive half, get it in their half of the field, and preferably their defensive third.
Throw-in comes off Almeida there. Brought down, held in by Mahaffey. Working against Smith. A bit of a speculative cross from Mahaffey there. She's claiming it came off the defender.
And I actually think she was right, but very tough to see. But in that case, she would have been better suited just to stand on the ball in the corner and possess it.
Blakely moving a defender around. Ritz. Blakely. Try to go back to Ritz. 90 seconds. Smith upended. It's a free kick. Simon Fraser short on time. Quick restart. Up toward Almeida. Header won by Miranda. Advantage played by the referee. Skipped out wide here, DiPinto. Falcons have numbers moving forward. Veenhuizen rockets that cross off the head of a defender. 1 minute to play.
Yeah, and there was no need for that cross. Just, possess the ball, keep it in the corner. You don't want to knock it back to your defensive half at this point. And that's the right play right there. Stick it down into the corner. It's, 80 yards away from your goal.
Veenhuizen onto that ball. Going for DiPinto. And Falcons just working the clock here. 30 seconds now. Simon Fraser trying to rally some pressure, but it has been long minutes without the ball for them. Falcons throw with 15 seconds left, and Jim, that's going to ice this match. Well, Simon Fraser puts a scare into SPU in the final minutes of this contest, but the Falcons are bound for the GNAC championship match at 1 p.m. on Saturday here on GNAC.tv. A very dominant first 45. Once the bench got involved, Simon Fraser found more opportunities to get back in this game, but ultimately the rally comes up a bit short, Jim.
Yeah, but they scored with about 12 minutes left, and that really changed the tenor of the game. And you're right, the backups weren't as quick to the ball, and they weren't combating the ball all over the pitch, and that made a big difference and allowed Simon Fraser a breath of hope.
Well, SPU wins 2-0. They have goals from Chloe Gelhaus. 2-1. They have goals from Chloe Gelhaus and Claire Nieder. Annika Gross has the consolation goal for Simon Fraser. That's going to do it for our first broadcast. Don't forget, right back here on GNAC.tv, our second match as Western Washington takes on Northwest Nazarene at 7 p.m. Pacific time. We'll see you then. One last time, SPU 2, SFU 1. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in an hour.